Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One and I'm bringing you yet another assortment. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you thought MAGA had a monopoly on petty, boy were you wrong. Today we're spilling a little bit of tea on PublicSquare, the so-called anti-woke Amazon that pro-Trump folk hyped as a safe space for MAGA shoppers. Weren't the MAGA people always hollering about for the last 10 years about safe spaces and they were saying something about snowflakes, child whatever. Spoiler alert, it ended up being the perfect GPS for everybody else to know who's who in the zoo, who not to support. Buckle up, go ahead and grab your snacks, go ahead and relax your feet. We're in our rust era as black people, so you know I'm over here with a little light malt, okay? And get ready to see MAGA left with an empty cart and unpaid waiters tab. So we're gonna get into some TikToks and there will be commentary. Let's go.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that'll really step, but it's not enough.
MAGA's anti-woke Amazon backfires big. PublicSquare, which launched in July 4th of 2022 as a values-driven marketplace promising a woke-free shopping experience for true believers. Believers of what, child? Its founder even pitched it as an alternative to Amazon for Patriot. The idea was that small businesses could sign on, pledge allegiance to MAGA values, which is anti-DEI, pro-gun, anti-abortion, pro-not giving a damn about who gets shot in the school shooting. I'm pro-police, but let me vote for the 34-time convicted felon. I'm anti-gay, but of course I'll be caught sucking somebody's dick around 12 midnight at an adult bookstore. You know, real strong Christian value. But back to those small businesses, one of the benefits that they get is free publicity on PublicSquare's site. Hell, even Donald Trump Jr. sat on the board and invested cash in this thing. But guess what, y'all? That genius plan flopped. Instead of building a safe shopping utopia for constituents of the Handmaid's Tale, or maybe the Deliverance gang of a movie. But that's neither here nor there. What PublicSquare actually did, I'm pretty sure accidentally, is they gifted activists the ultimate boycott cheat sheet. Journalists noted that social media posts about PublicSquare went viral. Not to praise it, but to use it as a directory of who to avoid. One TikToker quipped it was basically the Green Book, but for conservatives. And she ain't wrong. Well, for context, the Green Book was a 1960s guide to businesses safe for black Americans under Jim Crow. Now MAGA handed us our own list of racist-friendly businesses. Let me repeat that again. Racist-friendly businesses. So instead of MAGA mom and pops thriving, we got a woke-free map to figure out who to never give our money to. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I hit the lottery. PublicSquare's own site brags, you just enter your zip code and boom, up pops every Trump supporting store in your hood. Dog groomers, vets, barbershops, pharmacies. If the owner ticked the MAGA box, it's listed there for all to see. As one shopper observed on camera, even your own dog's vet or favorite hair salon can be on that list, saying they support kicking out a 2-year-old American kid. Yes, toddlers. They handed us the playbook. We're just using it. We're just using it to the best of our ability to make sure that they never see another one of our dimes. Trump's voters regret theatrics, but they still love the racism, okay? It's always been about the racism. Now let's just address the drama over MAGA regrets. You've seen those TikTok clips. Disillusioned, truly delusional. Trump voters crying at 1 a.m. Cute, but reality check. CNN's chief data guru Harry Eaton ran the numbers and found only about 2% of 2024 Trump voters would flip to Kamala Harris in a do-over.
Let's talk about Trump voters and how they feel. Do they regret their vote?
I mean, this is the big question, right? I hear all these stories, all these articles. All the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024. We got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road. And then there's this additional 1% who say they would rather not vote. We're talking overall under 5% might or would have changed their vote, Donald Trump voters back in 2024. And then you ask, okay, the same question to Kamala Harris voters, and it turns out the numbers are rather similar. So if there was a repeat, if folks got to be able to redo their vote that they had back in 2024, would the result be any different? I doubt it would be. I doubt it would be, or it would still be extremely close. The bottom line is, for all this talk of Trump voters regretting their vote, in the numbers, it really just doesn't show up, John.
So the stickiness with Trump voters.
As Eaton said bluntly, very few of them regret what they did. In fact, fewer voters today doubt their choice than after Trump's first term. In other words, all the outrage about "I wish I voted for Harris instead," that's mostly a fantasy land narrative. That's mostly the people that are trying to get a quick money bag off of the TikTok or the YouTube for engagement, clicks, and likes. The attention whores. I could personally call them attention goblins. What I see is some very large bodies, some very wide faces, and they all come from Georgia, Alabama, Utah, Ohio, Omaha, Nebraska, one of them damn Dakotas, and Arkansas. To me, they don't look like they're suffering. They don't look like they're missing any meals, certainly. With all of this in mind, why? Because let's keep it 100. Most of these folks weren't voting for policies or pocketbook. They voted for the racism. Decades of political science agree. Trump's 2016 to 2020 coalition was fueled by racial resentment and xenophobia, not just economic anxiety. The data doesn't lie. Trump did best among whites who deny racism and despise diversity. So many of these regret posters won't admit it. And that's the key right there. How can you admit that you made the wrong decision, but you can't admit why you truly voted that way to begin with? But that's neither here nor there. But deep down, they still cling to the hate. They'd sooner choke on boiled dirt than say they voted for Trump because they like seeing black and brown people suffer. Really, they were all hoping for black people to be suffering, and including quite a few brown people. I saw the Palestinians up there in Michigan. You know, they were literally saying, "Oh, this is going to humble black people." Really, it is. It's humbling. You know what's humbling? When I see the news feed and I see that inch by inch Palestine is becoming a gravel pit, really. If you look at it, it's more like a parking lot right now. Just, that's what I'm saying for the Latinos and Latinas and the Cubanos and Cubanas. Okay, adios. Okay, because Donald Trump was playing with y'all. Now, just like I said in another video, he's extended more contracts to Rwanda to deport you to. Okay, with no hopes of really. That's Rwanda. That is the site of one of the worst genocides in recent history during the Clinton administration. But Donald Trump says, "Oh well, move those old masquerades around. I'm going to get these illegals over there." Because what can really go wrong in Rwanda? By the way, Siri, translate Auschwitz into Rwanda. Never mind. Bottom line, the only thing MAGA voters really lost faith in is their TV screens and lopsided polls, not the racist-based reason they chose Trump to begin with. They'll cry about 401k balances dropping and prices rising, but they ain't about to swap their prejudice for a candidate of color. Okay, I mean, this is known. You have had racist white people refuse kidney transplants because the person the kidney came from is a person of color. It's a black person. So I say to that, maybe they'll get it right in the next life. Okay, moving right along. Big media's polls are a joke. Speaking of the polls, let's not forget how mainstream media loves its lazy clickbait survey. CNN ran a tiny poll basically bragging about a less than 1% sample size, no less, claiming Trump voters were having second thoughts. Then therein lies the lies. As soon as you put thoughts in the same sentence as Trump voters, I just knew there was a lie here somewhere. There's a razor blade in the apple here. Okay, please. They chased that angle hard until their own analysts debunked it. As noted, Harry Enton himself says, "I hear all these stories. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did." Translation: the Trump regrets narrative was all hype, all moo, no cattle. Don't get fooled by networks chasing eyeballs. If CNN says 2% will switch, take it. Nearly everyone is hanging on for dear life. And any polls plastered on Fox or MSNBC about mass Trump flip-floppers, same story. Flimsy data with an agenda. We've got better sources for truth and memes. Now, as it relates to the black community moves, the moves that we're hustling and thriving, ain't nothing changed over here but the date and time. Okay. Meanwhile, while MAGA melts down online, black people and our underserved communities are quietly winning. Instead of complaining, we're doubling down on smart shopping and community solidarity. Heard about the new life hack? Folks are cutting out the middleman. A savvy buyer interviewed in HuffPost said, "I refuse to do business with those people," meaning the PublicSquare flag stores, and has spent the last 2 weeks ordering everything straight from China distributors. For those of you who are interested, if you go to TikTok and you just type in China warehouse or China warehouse distributors, that'll get you going. Okay, we're talking about bulk goods, clothing, electronics, even cars and modular homes. This champion showed off a new BYD electric car they snagged for about $8,000 by buying directly overseas. In short, many in the black community, they are marching. Oh no, baby, we're not marching in no protest. Don't get your hopes up, okay? I just felt the spirit that you guys were about to say, "Oh, the black people are finally marching." No, we're marching our dollars where they are respected. Instead of treading water at the gas pump, we hit up global markets and black-owned brands. Side note, black-owned businesses are reporting surges in loyalty since 2020 as Buy Black campaigns keep growing online. Here's a sidebar. It is not a black-owned business if the generational wealth is not transferring to another black hand. So I'm sorry to, I know I have a lot of interracial married couples, or, quite a few black men love to say, I have a black-owned business, but your wife isn't black, okay? So I just have to point that out. You are not considered a black-owned business. Moving right along. We've worn out our marching shoes since the 1960s.
Child, they ain't got no soul on that. We've been marching barefoot now, okay?
Now we're wearing out credit cards at shops aligned with our values, okay? Like I said, it is reported that the black community does have about $1.7 trillion that we contribute to GDP. So we have money. In fact, the black community in the U.S. ranks 12th globally. That's the number one is the United States, followed by China. The number 3 is Germany. The number 4 is California. The number 5 is Japan. And number 12 is the black community as a collective. Just wanted to point that out, as Target just found out the hard way. And of course, I know a lot of people love to say there's no money in the black community. Well, if that was the case, why does every black community have an Asian store, Arab store, a white store, every kind of store but a black store? And guess what? That's changing. And regarding their accidental green book of places to boycott on PublicSquare, what a glorious role reversal. They wanted a safe space, but instead they made a hit list of their own allies. Too easy. We've gone through that list with a fine-tooth comb. Bosses, vets, barbers, you name it. If they signed on to MAGA's PublicSquare, we're dropping them like a bad habit. One viral video even brags we're going to save coins and our morals by flipping the script. PublicSquare is on a mission to build culture through commerce, they said. And boy, they sure built a roadmap for us to cut them off at the knees, okay? I love it because as a black person and other black people, you know this, we go to some of these places and they still want to try to give us the change by putting it on the counter as if they're too good to touch our hand. As if we were the ones who were bragging about not taking baths at weeks at a time. But moving right along. But let's talk about fighting back. Boycott and build. Time to put the Divine One's plan into action. We know who they are now. We don't have to worry. If you signed on to that list, I don't want to hear about,
I was against the tweeting.
I don't want to hear about,
I was only voting for him because of, he's business savvy.
I don't understand any business major who within their first semester of undergrad college, who were under requirement of the business program, you have to take Econ 101, Economics 101, and right there within the first 4 weeks, you're going to learn about what the hell a tariff is, okay? I'm so sorry. I cannot have empathy or sympathy for all of these farmers and all of these people bragging about, I'm a business person and this is going to hurt me. And I thought they would pay for the tariff. Stop calling yourself a business person if you don't know the basics of business. And trust me, tariffs and the understanding, comprehension thereof is as basic as it can get. But here's how we keep up the pressure. Don't just sit there. Do one of these things today. Boycott the MAGA brand. Y'all saw that vet. Y'all saw that pharmacist, the coffee shop on PublicSquare. It's on blast now. Don't spend a dime there. Share the site or a screenshot with your friends and say, we'll take our dollars elsewhere. Thank you very much. Tag them in it too. We petty over here. We are in our villain era over here, okay? Support inclusive businesses. Invest in black-owned businesses, LGBTQ-friendly businesses. Well, I don't know if I want to include that, the immigrant-owned shops, because a lot of y'all was quite boisterous about supporting Donald Trump. So, but I do believe that you would be barred from PublicSquare. Okay, possibly could be something, dealing with a little color, too much melanin in your skin, whatever. Find and shout out brands that stand against hate, okay? Target did not, and look how well that's working out for them. But you know who it did work out for? Costco, Sam's Club. Okay, you know who else it's not working out for? Home Depot. You know who's working out well for? Lowe's. It's real easy. If they're on that list, you must not assist, okay? I'm embracing my Johnny Cochran. The spirit of Johnny Cochran has hit me. He's on the Robo-Tussin. But here's a pro tip. Check out black-owned business directories or minority chambers in your city. Again, it does require you, if you're interested about building generational wealth in the black community, then yes, who the owner is married to, or It does matter, okay? And you would be surprised how many companies, how many businesses will put that black-owned sticker on there and it's not black-owned, okay? Never has been. Every purchase is a vote. Let's vote them out of business, okay? Spread the word. Share those TikToks and Twitter threads or X threads or whatever you want to call it about PublicSquare. Go to Reddit, okay? Post those pictures of you looking and circling that business that you frequented and that you found on PublicSquare, and that you will never support them again. Use hashtags like boycott MAGA and economic boycott. Tag that friend who complains about woke capitalism and say, girl, read this. Encourage your crew to join the boycott. Knowledge is power, and we have all the receipts now. Stay petty, stay woke. Think twice before shopping any brand on PublicSquare's radar, okay? Follow local anti-discrimination watchdogs. Cancel subscriptions to the quote-unquote patriotic media lying to you. Keep calling out the racism when you see it. The Divine One model, if they show you who they are, believe them, then unsubscribe and block their ass, okay? In conclusion, stay informed and unapologetic. Let's be clear, PublicSquare blew up in MAGA's face, and we couldn't be prouder. They spent millions to tell us who they hate, and we spent zero to realize where not to shop. Now our communities are thriving, our wallets are smarter, and we're downright tactical. But, you know, we don't want to interrupt them making their amends apology videos on TikTok where they talk about whatever reason they voted for Orange Crush Mango Mussolini. Sidebar, maybe it's just me, but he's starting to look more and more like a bucket of raw chitterlings. He doesn't look well at all, but I digress. And we're not listening until we hear what we need to hear. I voted for him because he's a racist and white power. Okay, that's the realest thing you can say, and guess what? That's respectable to me. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're getting to the truth, okay? So stay alert, y'all. Keep doing your research. Follow the real data, not the clickbait post. And we're going to cheer. It's a celebration over here, bitches. We're going to cheer every time another Trump-friendly store feels that pinch. Be as petty as you need to. You know, that's I guess that would be a consolidation prize for you, you know, if you voted correctly, and then someone over here that voted for the racism and now they're over here whining as if they're the victim. You know, I'm all about getting into that petty bag, baby, okay? So maybe we can go ahead and start posting links to what they actually said, and then follow it up with a hashtag dang sorry, and they'll do it again. At the end of the day, knowledge is power and bitterness is sweet justice. Scrumdiddlyumptious. We've got the advantage and the receipts. Now let's hold it down. MAGA built a cartel of hate, and we turned it into a treasure map for liberation. The Divine One out. Stay strategic, stay smart, and continue to buy woke. Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.